Come on by afterwards, lots of different flavors and prices. Don't forget the Yola Boca Flood, the book sale that's going on in the library. Just as you use take from all different religions, we take traditions from different countries. And in Iceland, this is the tradition for Christmas Eve to give a book as a gift and eat chocolate and read books on Christmas Eve. So sounds like a plan. We have lots of books for sale in the library for $1 or $2. Don't forget the bake sale in the library. The children are putting together refreshments right now, and you can buy a plate with a little sample of all kinds of different things. And the money that they earn from this will go to help homeless children. And don't forget cookies on Christmas Eve. We're all going to get chubby, aren't we? Homemade cookies and apple cider after the 5 o'clock service on Christmas Eve. So bring homemade goodies that you'd like to share. In the art gallery, they're having a special on December 20th. It's the deadline. They're inviting artists to submit up to 2 works of art based on the song, I'm going to say it now. I listened to that the other day. It's a cool song by Phil Ock. I looked it up on the internet and it said AKKK. No. Phil Ochs is how you spell his name. Don't forget the Martin Luther King breakfast that will be happening on January 15th at 8 o'clock in the morning. The tickets are $50, but the money, of course, goes to the NAACP. And we will have a table at the convention center there for this breakfast. If you attend the breakfast, or even if you don't, then on Sunday, the day before, they're having at the plaza down in downtown Las Cruces. People are all getting together for the annual march and rally. So wear your UU t-shirt if you have one, and just come walk with our group. Look for everybody at the plaza. Don't forget December 20th is the deadline for the January light, where you get everything you need to know about what's going on at the church. And outside, you probably noticed in the lobby, people were writing letters to prisoners. This is a Social Justice Committee is putting this on. You write a letter to a prisoner that's a UU, and they will forward it from the Church of the Larger Fellowship to each prisoner. And if we get them all done today, they should get them in time for Christmas. And that's what I have for announcements. These are all on the back of your order of service in case you forget the details.
Good morning and welcome. You look beautiful today. You're too kind. So we demonstrated the phone silencing this morning already. Our gathering song is number 233, Bring a Torch, Jeanette Isabella. First verse, en français, s'il vous plaît. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together.
like to welcome everyone today. I'm Carol Stanfield. I'll be the service associate. Our service leader, of course, is our own Reverend Rod Thompson. Director of music, thank you, Catherine. And our lovely choir. You guys sound terrific. I'd like to thank Jillian and Diane for the beautiful table they do each week. And the greeters today, Diane Lee, Ed Long, and Linda Rishala. Kelly Ingram is our RE director. She's with the children right now, getting the goodies ready for the bake sale. Oh, somebody's just moaning. Somebody's just saying yum, huh? Thanks to our tech, Mike Yatsko, audio, Claire Neal Wallace, and on camera, and Truffles Elwin Nunn. Hospitality this week is provided in the great room, which is right down the passageway there, and presented to you by the Multicultural Awareness Group. We at the Unitarian Universalist Church are striving to become a beloved community. We embrace diversity in all its forms. Everyone who agrees with our principles and covenant of right relationships is welcome. Unitarian Universalism has no creed nor dogma, and UU churches are covenant-based, meaning that we agree to live in nurturing relationship with each other. You can learn more about our church and check the events calendar at the website, which is uuchurchlc.org, or just Google UU Church Las Cruces or UUA to find out more about our church. If you're a visitor today in the sanctuary, we'd like to meet you. So please stand and wait a moment until I bring the microphone. And when you introduce yourself, would you tell us where you're from and how you found us? Are there any visitors today? Hi, Mark.
Good morning, I'm Mark Lusk. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., and I recently moved here from El Paso, Texas, having retired from the University of Texas at El Paso.
Glad to meet you. Hi.
My name is scary. My name is Hillary Leach, and I'm from pretty much California and then Oregon. So I'm kind of new in town. My sister already lives here, and she knows y'all. I don't know y'all yet. But I am unknown. Anyway, my name is Hillary. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hello, my name is King Mungeon. I'm from Jacksonville, Florida. I came in today just because I decided I wanted to change my life.
It's a good place for it. We have visitor cards, so if anybody needs one, I have some here. Did you already need one? Okay. And if you fill out the visitor's card, we'll put you on our email list, and you can find out all the fun things that are going on. Do you need one? Okay. If we have visitors on YouTube, welcome. There are places on YouTube where you can get more information, where you can help make an offering, and where you can get on our email list. So hope you can find those. That's all we need. We'll light the chalice then. You probably noticed that in the UU Church, the chalice is our main symbol. That's why it's on all my jewelry and things like that. Candles provide light in the darkness and represent truth. Many religions have candle lighting traditions. Our chalice and our candles represent truth, peace, and compassion. This is a quote from our own Gary Kowalski, you might remember was minister of our church temporarily. With faith to face our challenges, with love that casts out fear, with hope to trust tomorrow, we accept this day as the gift that it is.
Season's greetings to all. Only 7 more shopping days. Oh, come all ye faithful. Who's gonna write the rest of the cards? What on earth are we gonna get for Uncle Dick? How about a turkey? The little Lord Jesus laid down his sweet head. Everyone else but us has their lights up. We didn't get enough gift wrapping paper or bows. Hark the herald angels sing. What a ridiculous price to pay for a tree. Let's let it all subside. Relax and enjoy what was meant to be enjoyed. May the ancient legend about the making of all things new remind us of the enduring possibilities of peace, of hope, of love, and of joy. I invite you now to stand and join in the reading of our covenant together, and then the singing of the doxology in English and in Spanish. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, to the end that all souls shall grow into harmony with creation. Thus do we covenant with one another.
And you can stay standing for the opening hymn, The Holly and the Ivy, with symbols from pagan tradition and adapted for Christianity, pretty much like Christmas.
Thank you.
That's a tune I'm going to have in my mind all day. I love it. One way that we support each other here at the UU Church is through the sharing of joys, sorrows, and milestones. We offer you this opportunity to share so we may know what's on your heart. Please wait for the mic so that we can hear you, even on YouTube.
Good morning, I'm Jerry Natchison. I have a sorrow this morning. A number of people have been asking me why my wife has not been here for a few weeks, and she has developed a heart condition and has to basically take it easy until she can see the heart doctor next week. Thank you.
Sorry to hear that. Our thoughts are with you, Jody.
Good morning, I'm Dave Steele. I have a joy that I would like to share, and that is that last Sunday at our business meeting, by a vote of 58 to 2, this congregation elected to become an official sponsor of the Green Amendment, New Mexico Green Amendment. This is an initiative to add a clean, healthy, sustainable environment as a right that everybody in our state can enjoy. It's going to take a few years for it to become an actual change to our Constitution, but you have to start somewhere, and we're starting. So thanks to this congregation for that support.
I have a joy to share. We do treatment foster care, my wife and I, and one of the girls just got released back to her mother, and she's doing well. That's Maddie. So I just wanted to say that. Thank you.
Hi, James. Yeah, just the sorrow that I wake up every morning and think of what's happening in Gaza and Israel and fearing for everyone there and us too.
Hi, I'm Jean Gilbert, and I have a joy and a sorrow. A joy is that my boyfriend, we were high school boyfriend and girlfriend. So 56 years ago, we've reconnected, and he'll be here visiting for the holiday. So I'm super excited. And a sorrow is that, and some of you do know my sister Jane. She was diagnosed with early stage breast cancer, and so she's a quarter of a way through chemo, and she's really managing it pretty well. So I'm hoping and praying she'll be a long-term survivor, long time survivor. Thank you.
I also have a small joy, which I kept separated from the sorrow. My granddaughter, Josephine, celebrated her first birthday a couple of days ago.
Of course, there are always more concerns, so we light this candle for the unspoken concerns. Get to work here. So we recognize all these joys, concerns, and sorrows, and those that are unspoken.
My turn again.
Well, you know that the homily topic is bah humbug. And of course, everyone knows that that phrase comes from our fellow Unitarian Charles Dickens' character, Ebenezer Scrooge. I'm sure you remember the scene. Scrooge and Bob Cratchit are hard at work in their offices. I see it as a very dark and shabby but formal office. All of a sudden, there's an interruption. "A Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!" cried a cheerful voice. It was the voice of Scrooge's nephew, who came upon him so quickly that this was the first intimation he had of his approach. "Bah," said Scrooge. "Humbug." "Christmas? A humbug, Uncle?" said Scrooge's nephew. "You don't mean that, I am sure." "I do," said Scrooge. "Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough." "Come then," returned the nephew gaily. "What right have you to be dismal? What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough." Scrooge, having no better answer ready on the spur of the moment, said, "Bah," again, and followed it up with, "Humbug."
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Here we come a-caroling among the leaves of green. Here we come along, it's a fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you and I too. And we wish you and send you a happy new year. And we wish you a happy new year. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey! Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey!
Top that. December 17th. Just 7 more shopping days left. Sorry. December 17th. That was the day it used to be that I would remember that my mother's birthday was 12 days ago. December 17th. This was well after the time when I used to get the bah humbugs when I was working in commercial radio. Christmas for us small market radio salesmen had started in September, right after we sold the football and basketball games, of course. That's when we would put together our Christmas advertising packages. You know, how many commercials, to begin when, and for how much, which of course was always 10% more than last year. Some of those ads would begin in mid-November, others not until Thanksgiving week. Now, of course, they begin a lot earlier than that, but this was back in the 70s and 80s. Then there was the Santa's Arrival remote broadcast to plan for and sell, plus the Christmas parade that followed. For some reason, in Mount Vernon, Ohio, where I was the salesman, Santa arrived by helicopter with the high school cheerleaders dressed in their red and white uniforms were Santa's helpers. They got to ride in the helicopter too. At least the head cheerleader did. Then there were the holiday greetings. Have you ever tried to write 50? I was a very good salesman. 50 different 10-second greeting messages, all different, making sure that they were religiously correct for the sponsor as well as for the audience, plus mentioning the sponsor's name twice in 10 seconds. By December 1st, let alone the 17th, I would have had Christmas up to here. I suspect that's true of a lot of people about now. We've been seeing Christmas stuff in the stores since Labor Day, seeing and hearing Christmas ads since Halloween, and hearing Christmas music for at least the last 4 weeks. I listen in my car especially to Sirius XM, and I counted there are at least 5 different channels that you can listen to Christmas music on with Sirius XM. My current favorite is the Country Christmas. That has nothing to do with anything else here. It's one of my guilty pleasures, I guess. There's at least one commercial station that's playing only Christmas music, plus commercials, of course. If you're like most of us, you're about to the point where you might vote for an every other year for Christmas. Bah, humbug. I think that I can understand Scrooge's problem with Christmas. Here's a guy trying to run a business in poor economic times. His partner has died, leaving him with all the work and all the responsibility for his business. And he's probably a workaholic too. His business seems to be his only interest in life. As a workaholic, he probably can't understand Bob Cratchit's need for time off, or for a family either, for that matter. So it's no wonder, with the business pressure he's under, with his workers wanting time off with pay, with a poor relation coming in all jolly and all, wishing him a Merry Christmas. With all that, is it any wonder that he's fed up with Christmas? So he dismisses it with a bah and a humbug. There are a lot of modern-day Scrooges out there these days. They don't use bah humbug anymore, but you get the message just the same. I had occasion to go to one of our leading retailers a while ago to return something I didn't need or want. There were what seemed like thousands of people in the store, and the staff was short-handed. The lines were all long. The longest was the returns line. There was one poor woman handling all of the returns and the exchanges, plus she was answering the phone, taking care of other employees' things. My rough statistical analysis showed that there were at least 75% Scrooges in that line. They alternated between grumbling sort of quietly to making snide, unkind, cutting remarks about the woman and the store, all loud enough for the poor woman to hear. The woman was working very efficiently with all the things she needed to do, but the Scrooges were already to the humbug stage. All of which started me thinking, how do we get ourselves to such a state? How do we go from being mild-mannered, holiday-spirited, life-enjoying gift buyers to Super Scrooge? Here's what I think. I think we're trying to do too much, too fast, for too many, with too little. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things. Impossible things like giving the perfect gift. You know, the one that's just right, the right size, the right color, what they want, what they need, the perfect gift at the right price. It's impossible. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like staying within your budget. If you can do that, you're better than I can, or our government for that matter. It's impossible. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like finding everything you want on the first try. Maybe you can do that, but if so, you'll miss those amazing things you would have never thought of. Besides, it's impossible. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like doing nothing at the last minute. Where's the fun in that? Besides, it's impossible. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like getting along with all your relatives. You can't do that during the rest of the year. Why do you think you can do that during this high stress season? Besides, it's impossible. It's also impossible to get these pages to turn. We become Super Scrooge simply by doing impossible things like making everybody happy. You have no control over anybody else's happiness. To think you can do so is impossible and crazy-making. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like making this holiday exactly like the best holiday you've ever had. I tried that for several years. I called it my Merry, M-A-R-Y, Christmas. No matter how hard we try, we can't relive the past. It's impossible. We become Super Scrooge simply by trying to do impossible things like getting what we want for Christmas or any time without asking for it. Even those who love us can't read our minds, thankfully. Getting what we want without asking is impossible. But it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to be Super Scrooge. We can give up trying to do impossible things. And by remembering that this season can mean more than crazy making, it doesn't mean you have to do these impossible things. Scrooge found out the hard way, with the help of some friendly spirits. Scrooge found out that there was more to life than business. Scrooge found out that there was love in the world and that there was joy in the world. And he didn't want to die before he experienced both. And he was an astute enough businessman to know that he had to give joy and give love before he could have a return. Life was different for Scrooge after that. There's another Christmas story that shows this kind of change. It's a story of an event that actually happened during World War I. It was put into a song by John McCutcheon. Many of you know it, Christmas in the Trenches. And no, I'm not going to sing it. Fortunately, our friend Mark Courtney is.
My name is Francis Tolliver. I come from Liverpool. At 17, the war was waiting for me after school. To Belgium and to Flanders, to Germany to here. I fought for king and country I loved dear. 'Twas Christmas in the trenches, and the frost so bitter hung. The frozen fields of France were still, no Christmas songs were sung. Our families back in England were toasting us that day. Their brave and glorious lads so far away. I was sitting with my messmates on the cold and rocky ground, when from the line of battle came a most peculiar sound. Says I, now listen up, me boys, each soldier strained to hear, when one young German voice rang out so clear. He's singing bloody well, you know, my partner says to me. Soon one by one each German voice joined in the harmony. The cannons rested silent, the gas clouds rolled no more, as Christmas brought us respite from the war. As soon as they were finished, and a reverent pause was spent, God rest ye merry gentlemen, struck up some lads from Kent. The next they sang was Stille Nacht, 'tis silent night, says I, and in two tongues one song filled up the sky. There's someone coming toward us, the front line sentries cried. All sights were fixed on one lone figure trudging from their side. His truce flag, like a Christmas star, lit up the plains so bright, as he bravely strode unarmed into the night. Soon, one by one from either side, we walked into no man's land. With neither gun nor bayonet, we met there hand to hand. We shared some secret brandy, and we wished each other well. And in a flare-lit soccer game, we gave 'em hell. We traded chocolates and cigarettes and photographs from home. These sons and fathers far away from families of their own. Young Sanders had a squeeze box. They had a violin. This curious and unlikely band of men. Soon daylight stole upon us. France was France once more. With sad farewells we each prepared to settle back to war. But the thought that haunted every heart that beat that wondrous night, whose family have I fixed within my sight? 'Twas Christmas in the trenches, and the frost still bitter hung, but the frozen fields of France were warmed when songs of peace were sung. The walls they built between us to exact the work of war had crumbled and were gone forevermore. My name is Francis Tolliver. In Liverpool I dwell. Each Christmas come since World War I, I've learned its lessons well. That those who call the shots won't be among the dead and lame. And on each end of the rifle, we're the same.
Like Scrooge, Francis Tolliver found out something of the spirit of Christmas, and life was different for him too. Once he knew the enemy personally, it was a lot harder to shoot him. Before that experience, I imagine Christmas was just another holiday, perhaps thought of as bah humbug. But afterwards, Christmas would have a different meaning for them all. Now, I don't see us as Scrooges or as Tollivers either, for that matter. But like them, we often find ourselves saying bah humbug, either actually or figuratively, to Christmas. And we too need to be reminded of the spirit of Christmas. We don't need ghosts or wars either, though we seem to have both. All we need is that little voice saying, stop. That says, stop trying to do impossible things. That says, Christmas means more than this. We can do that for ourselves. Maybe we'll require a major shift like I needed to get out of commercial radio. Or it may be as simple as this homily or John McCutcheon's song. But stop and ask yourself why. Why am I feeling this way? Why bah humbug? What impossible things am I trying to do? Once we realize how impossible it is, then we can get back to the spirit of loving and caring and sharing that is Christmas. Don't let the bah humbugs interfere with your enjoyment of the season. May we, during this holiday season, be the ones who light a candle against the prevailing darkness, a candle that neither the winds of hate nor the gales of evil can extinguish. For we are, after all, hopeful people. So be it. Blessed be, and amen.
This is the time where we think about sharing our gifts. Everyone shares their talent here, I know. But of course, money helps. There are so many things we want to do with our church. But we say that in the UU Church that an offering is a sacrament of a free church, and service is our prayer. What we mean by this is that we believe it is a blessing to be able to govern and support our religious community ourselves. It's made possible by our generosity, and everything we dream of and do to live with our shared values is possible. Last week, we approved our 2024 budget. It is because of the generosity of our members and the efforts of grant writers that we continue to be able to meet the ongoing needs of our church in 2024. Thank you. We're continuing to support organizations identified by the Social Justice Committee, and the recipients for our Change for Change program this quarter are the Mesilla Valley Hospice. It's an organization that works with individuals and families to provide end-of-life care and respect the inherent dignity and the unique needs of each individual, ever since 1982. And there are just 2 more Sundays we'll be donating to this. So if you would like to put change in the basket or pay with a credit card or a check that says Change for Change, that's all welcome. The greeters will come forward now to receive the gifts of our congregation. And there are no Scrooges here, right?
in the place of our personally imposed bah humbugs. I wish for you, all around you, people who love easily and forgive quickly, whose eyes are stars when you are night, whose voices are trumpets when you are silence. I wish for you, all around you, people who are gifts in themselves and whose presence in your life is an all year long present. So be it. Blessed be. Amen. And happy holidays.
Our closing hymn is the first Noel. I invite you to rise in body or spirit to sing together.
And it's time to extinguish the flame. There are some who will be bah humbug types at Christmas, like Ebenezer Scrooge, the Wizard of Oz, remember how grumpy he was? The Grinch that stole Christmas. I think even Santa giving coal to a little child is kind of grinchy. It's not a time to punish. But they all have their kind heart somewhere in there. They all have hearts that grow 3 sizes that day. That's from the Grinch, Dr. Seuss. Now please join with me as we say these words to extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And I will end with a quote from Charles Dickens. I will honor Christmas in my heart and keep it all year.